bear with me. I kind of threw together in the last few days. That's actually an older version. This is the newer version, so try to stay focused on this one. I know it's a little hard to see, but there's a lot of photos that are not going to show up on that one, but you'll see here that are actually kind of cool. So I hope you like it, and I need someone to push the space bar for that. But I feel bad because they won't see this.
You're saying you must see.
Okay, so I guess I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I did not go to Sayreville High School. I'm here, my dad taught here for a long time, so I figured I'd start speaking here because my old high school, I went to South Brunswick. It's a little hard to go there and give a presentation these days. They're a little, kind of like a prison. Anyway, so I graduated in 2004 and I went to Elon University. It's in North Carolina. I graduated in 2008 with a major in psychology and a minor in business administration and Italian studies. I studied abroad in Italy for a semester. I did a lot of volunteering work while I was there. I was in a service sorority. We did a lot of stuff for St. Jude's. So a long time I was always like, I really like volunteering. I really want to do something along those lines. I like to travel. I did a really big project in college. It was called Paraclean Scholars. We worked a lot. It was with Mexico. We helped refurbish schools. I went to Mexico for a month and worked there. So that really pushed me to do Peace Corps. So I kind of had heard of it. They never recruited in New Jersey. So I had actually never heard of Peace Corps until I went to college. The very first person I met in college, she gave me a tour of the campus. She was a friend of the family, and she was a returned Peace Corps volunteer. She had served in the Peace Corps in Mexico, and she loved it, and she just would not stop talking about how much she loved it. And I thought about it for like 4 years, I guess. So by the time I was a senior, I realized it was something I was kind of thinking about doing, so I started to apply the summer before my senior year. And I was accepted during my senior year. My university is really big with Peace Corps. We send a lot of kids into the Peace Corps, so it was a lot easier to apply. I did my interview over the phone in my pajamas. I was accepted, and I received my placement the summer of 2008, and I actually went to Ghana that year in October. So I had a really fast placement, which is really unusual, especially now. So I'll get into that a little bit, but I'm not here to recruit you. I'm just here to talk about Peace Corps, my experiences with Peace Corps, Ghana especially, and what I did there. So I'll just do a little presentation at the end. You can ask me questions. I brought a lot of stuff. You can definitely ask me anything you want about them. So I think I'm just going to get started. So who knows anything about Peace Corps? Have you heard of it? Have you ever seen a recruiter? No. Great. Okay, so, yeah?
They help people.
They help people? Does anyone know, like, maybe the goals of Peace Corps? Why it exists? Anything about it? Anything. I mean, we know they go overseas, so why do we do it? No?
We learned about it last time. We learned a little.
You learned about it in history?
Last year.
Yeah, I didn't realize, I don't remember learning about it in my history classes. I think that might be a new thing. President Obama is really pushing Peace Corps right now. We just got a lot of money, and actually this year is our 50th anniversary. Peace Corps began in 1961. JFK put it in place, and it's grown so much since then. And actually Ghana was the very first country they went to. So in 1961, in August, they sent, I think, maybe 20 people to Ghana. And of course, back then, Ghana was nothing like it is today. So it's kind of interesting, for me at least, to see the differences. So they're celebrating a lot this year. You'll probably hear about it, maybe. So let me, this picture, these are just volunteers that I served with. They're in front of Air Force One. Obama came to speak to us in Ghana when he came. It was kind of exciting. So here's the mission of Peace Corps. You can probably read it better up there. So we call it the 3 goals. So the first goal is what you would think of Peace Corps, to go and help people, right? That's pretty much the general idea. Like, they want people to come to help them with some kind of, mission. And the second 2 goals are more of what I think JFK and what Peace Corps inevitably are all about, and that's peace, promoting friendship between countries. So the second goal is all about, going to a different country and teaching them what America is like, teaching them that Americans are a certain way or not a certain way, about our culture. And then goal 3 is just about us coming back here and saying, hey, Africa is not what you might think it is, or I served in this country and I did this. So goal 3 is actually the most important part of Peace Corps, and that's why I'm here right now. I'm doing goal 3. So I'm here to tell you about Ghana, and so you learn a little bit about a country you may have never heard of, you may have. I mean, we did pretty good in the World Cup last year, so that's Peace Corps. I can give you more ideas about application and stuff, but honestly, their website, if you're interested or have any questions about it, it'll give you a lot more information than I could. Especially since right now, the application process is very similar to what it was when I joined, because it was only a few years ago, but it is a lot harder to get in today. Like, if Peace Corps is something you want to do, you need to start applying, like, almost sophomore year of college. Like, it has gotten to be such a big thing. But they've also expanded. We're in, I don't even know how many countries now, over 139 countries. We've had over 200,000 volunteers. So it's actually a lot bigger than I think Kennedy ever thought it would be, which is pretty cool. So, yes.
What are the major requirements for getting into it?
Okay, well, for Peace Corps, I was just actually going to get on that. So my assignment, I applied, and when you apply, there's all these different questions. So they ask you, you can choose where you want to go. They let you list, like, regions of the world. So you can pick Africa, you can pick Asia. And then every place, every country has different things they're looking for. So, like, I went to Ghana, which has maybe at least 5 different sectors of jobs that you could work in. So they had teachers, and there are 3 types of teachers. They had environment, which is what I did, business, they had health volunteers. Then you go to another country, like maybe in Ukraine or something, they do a lot more with, like, IT work, they do a lot more with community work. Like, it depends on where you go. So when you apply, you can put down, like, which ones you'd want, and then you can put down the experience you have that's related to that. Right now, I know Peace Corps is really looking for college degrees. They're looking for a little bit of experience, especially if you specify, like, I want to do health work. Then they would look to see if you had, first aid experience, any kind of, like, related experience. But to be honest, as long as you're really passionate about going in and saying, like, I want to be this kind of volunteer, they're really open to placing you, and they do a really good job of placing you. So for my example, I was an agroforestry and livelihood facilitator, which sounds really crazy considering I was a psychology major with a business minor and Italian studies. So the reason that I got this placement was because I asked to be placed in environment specifically. In college, I did a lot of work with sustainability. We had a committee. We got a sustainability director for our college. We just did so much with climate change, so I had a lot of background in that, and I figured I didn't want to teach. So I had just put down, please place me in environment. It would be fun to be outside. Like, I figured, I had no idea what it was going to be, so I just put that down, and this is what I got. So I got placed in Ghana, which I was excited about because Ghana is a relatively safe country. I had known friends that went there. My university actually has a study abroad program with Ghana. Ghana is a very developing nation. So I was pretty excited about that. I had no idea what I would actually be doing until I got there. But that was my assignment. And that came maybe 3 months before I actually left. So, and that's my group. There were about 42 of us when we started. And it's called Omnibus because we were business volunteers, health volunteers, and environment volunteers. So we all went in together. We had 3 days of training in Philly, and then when we got to Ghana, we had 3 months of training. And that's the nice thing about Peace Corps. They actually train you on the ground, and they do cultural training, technical training, language training. So they give you your placement, like your actual place that you're going to be, within 5 days of country. They say, hey, you're going here, this is what you're going to be doing. They give you a very brief overline so you know what you're going to be doing. And in those first 3 months, they really train you. Like, we went all over Ghana. We did all different types of environment stuff. I have a couple pictures. So they do a really good job with that. I know in a lot of other organizations, they just kind of throw you there and expect you to know what you're doing. And in Ghana especially, language is really hard. There's over 60 languages spoken in Ghana, and they cannot possibly teach all of them to us, so we basically learn like the primary language spoken where we would be. So, which Twi is pretty much the most like spoken language in Ghana. English is the national language, but it's once you get into the rural villages, it is really hard to find someone who can speak English well enough to understand or have a good conversation. So they do a pretty good job with language and things like that. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about Ghana because it's where I lived for 2 years. So this is just a little photo montage of things I think are really important to Ghana. On the top left, you have a guy who's really excited about the Black Stars football. Nationality there is huge. They became an independent nation, I think the very first in sub-Saharan Africa in 1957. So they're very, very proud of their history. I got food up top. Fufu, that's the pretty much national food. Little girl, children are children are the future of Ghana. Agriculture, this little boy is mixing up cocoa beans that you should make chocolate out of. Kente here in the middle, I have some examples of that. Artisan work there is huge. And then on the bottom right is just a picture of huts in northern Ghana, and I'm going to do a little north-south comparison. But first, talk a little bit about Ghanaian life. I have a video here. So, when you think of Africa, you probably think of this kind of thing, drumming, dancing. This is very traditional, and Ghana still has this, obviously, during very big ceremonies. So there you see drums.